That's nuts. I don't know if that's going to stay right there. All right, let me get my stuff.
You're right.
Oh my goodness. This has been one heck of a wild day today for me too. I'm telling you. Between this move, trying to find a place, you know, that's going to work, trying to find a cabin, oh my gosh. Getting all the stuff packed and ready to go, getting the kids a place to live. Oh my, it's just been a nightmare.
I can imagine.
Anyways, yeah, I know. But it only happens once and then it'll be settled down. It won't take long.
Hopefully everything will work out.
Yep. Hey, Miss Pam. How is you? I don't know about Rick in that video he did today. I was shaking my head the first couple minutes going, what the heck is he talking about? Oh, that was just too funny. I bet you 10 to 1 I don't get notifications again. Something's going on with...
I just got one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
This is really weird. Yeah, Pam's like, I don't know. Hey, Barb. Good, Barb got notification too. Maybe they fixed it. Hey, Pappy. How are you? Hey, Mike. Hey, Oz. Yeah, he's a pistol. Hi, Shane. I have Matt on the phone. We actually had to do it the messenger call way because he doesn't have Skype and we couldn't even get my husband's to work. Hey, Nita. Hey, Margaret. Don't be trolling me. You're adorable. Hi, Sissy. Oh, I got the biggest kick out of that. I was shaking my head going, what the heck is he doing? Well, I'm glad no one was attacking you.
Hey,
I'd have been mad. Huh?
I said, hello, Amanda. That's Oz Squatch.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. It's Mad Matt. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I know, Rick. Hey, Brown. I didn't know your name, but I do now. Ooh, I can hear stuff across the street already. Sounds like the dudes are already here. Nice. Anyways, Matt, so how was work today?
A bit ordinary.
Ordinary, huh?
People wouldn't stay sitting down, so had a few people fall over. Luckily, no bad injuries.
Do you have the same laws there that we have here that you can't strap them down?
No, you can't restrain people.
Yeah, we had a lady that she was bent forward all the time, and she kept falling on her head and going to the hospital, and it happened that we got tagged by the state because so many injuries, and then they came out when they were doing inspection for that call-in, and twice while they were standing there talking to us, she fell out of that chair. And I told him, I said, I'm certainly glad you guys made that law that we can't restrain them. I said, so maybe I could just put a bed on the floor and let her stay there, huh? Because they wouldn't even let us put a table in front of her so she wouldn't fall forward.
Yeah.
This stuff makes me nuts. I don't know. I agree with not restraining them like arms and legs restraint, but what's wrong with putting a table in front of them? And mine were even the soft kind, not the hard tables, so if they hit their head, they wouldn't hurt themselves. They still wouldn't allow it. They said it was a restraint, and they had the right to fall.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Jamie.
It's crazy people that fall out of bed, and instead of putting rails up, we just put mats on the floor.
Yeah, same with us.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's stupid.
It is stupid. They should come up with something else that, you know, would stop somebody from hurting themselves that way, but I don't know. It just makes me nuts. We saw your two guns, Rick. Hey, Barry. People were kind of concerned about your mental status for a while there. We didn't know what you were actually up to. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
I'm I'm always concerned about his mental state, to tell you the truth.
You heard that. Hey, Carolyn Bell, how are you? Sissy called him a dork. Hi, Tim. Oh, that's great. We don't know what to do with you, Rick. Sometimes I wonder. See, he.
Yeah, Rick, I won't believe you until you've got a horse with you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, Ramona. Did you hear what he said, Rick? Or you guys hear him okay? Howtohuntsquirrels.com. Oh my gosh. Hey, Blue. Oh, he says you talk funny.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I know. I can't help it, mate.
Get
That's
him,
the
Matt.
way bloody is around here.
Get him, Matt. Yeah, I thought so too, Mike.
I'm trying to pronounce my words correctly so you can understand me.
You're doing that all for the egg? You're so sweet. Hey, Gator, how are you?
But it's illegal to pack any rifles down here.
That's crazy. I don't know if I could live in a place where they wouldn't allow you to have weapons. Did you read what he said?
Yeah.
Rick said, tell
Yeah,
him to talk.
Slave.
Rick told you to talk slow and use small words.
Yeah. We do that anyway.
Na 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 na. Oop. That's too funny. Hey, so Matt, are you gonna tell us about your yowies? Are you gonna tell us what happened when you went on your first when you had your first sighting?
Yeah. Well, I've had a couple of things happen previously, but I had been going to a place that's actually not far from home here and sort of exploring it like a little bit more and a little bit more each time. And I noticed structures here seem to be hard to find, for me anyway, like in my local area. They're not very common. But in this particular place, I'd noticed quite a few sort of tripod, the 3 sticks leaned up into a tripod. I noticed there was a lot of termite mounds in that area, and I noticed above every termite mound, the tree that was closest to it would be snapped. And so, thinking, well, this is looking sort of positive, like to find something. And it's on a spur that sticks out into a valley. So I was thinking they must be coming from the valley up onto the spur. So I was trying to find a way of, or a corridor that they were using, more or less. And
well, didn't you say that in your first couple of videos? Didn't you, when you were taking your walks? Is that the place that you're talking about when you were showing your first videos?
Yeah, I think it was Binya Fire Trail. I think the video is called. But anyway, I'd found on the side of the spur where a creek runs down a small canyon, and I thought that would be a corridor down to the valley below. So I'd climbed down into this canyon, which is probably only about 20 foot across. But as you go further down, the walls, even though you can touch each wall on either side, the slot in the rock is like 100 foot tall on either side.
Wow.
So it's quite narrow. And I'd followed this down a fair way, and I'd noticed, like I was looking for footprints, but the ground isn't suitable for showing them. It's too stony. But what I did notice was how the rocks that are laying on the ground had been stood on, because they're all covered in moss, being a very shaded area.
Yeah.
And I could see where something had repeatedly used them as stepping stones. So the moss had worn off and they were smooth. And anyway, I followed the canyon down, and I got to a point where it started dropping down in a series of waterfalls. The first one was probably only about 20 foot tall, and I'd climbed down that and walked another, 20, 30 yards, and there's another waterfall. But this one was just too big for me to climb down, and just too dangerous, being by myself. So I thought, oh, well, that's as far as I can get down here. And I turned around and walked back to the first waterfall that I'd climbed down. And as I was climbing back up the side of it, I heard what I thought was a person going exactly like that.
Ooh.
Like clearing their throat.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking, what the heck? Like, there'd be no one here. Like, I'm not near any trails or anything. But like, I looked up, and I'm looking around, and I'm looking for a person, thinking someone's standing there, like watching me. I couldn't see anything. So I climbed a little bit further, and I stopped again, and I looked back up, and why have I got it? How come I got an echo?
I don't know. You have an echo?
Bad echo.
I don't hear an echo.
It's gone now. No, it's gone now.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah, so I'm looking up onto this on one side, on the right hand side, on the top of the sort of the cliff, like the canyon side where it sort of flattens out on top and goes back into the bush. And there's a fallen tree laying across on the side, and I'm looking, and then I saw movement, and I looked again, and the whole time I was looking directly at this thing, but I just did not see it at all. And it wasn't until it made that tiny little movement
Yep.
that my eye picked it up, and I could see. And this thing is an orangey red colour, almost the colour of a orangutan. I could see its head looking over the fallen tree, and I could see both its hands, like sort of, or its fingers more than its hand, like on either side, like with its hands on the log that is looking over, looking at me. And I'm just like, people say they get scared or whatever. I didn't even register to be scared. I'm just looking at this thing, and it's looking directly at me. It's got a look on its face, like it wasn't happy. Just put it that way. It didn't open its mouth. It didn't say anything, but just the look on its face and the creases in its brow, like it was scowling at me. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm in a really bad spot. This all happened in 4 or 5 seconds of me seeing it.
Yeah.
And me thinking, okay, I've got to get off the side of this waterfall back up onto the flat because I'm in a pretty vulnerable spot. I've got to hold on. So I looked down at my feet to see where to place my foot next to climb up. And I positioned my foot and I looked back to where it was and I just caught a glimpse of it, its back, walking directly back into the brush that was behind it. And
Dang.
that was it.
Dang. That
And,
dang. That had to be a pretty hairy situation because I'm sure that you, like the rest of us, I'm sure, you know, you've heard of them, you know, you've thought about them, you've listened to the people about them, but that face to face is completely different, isn't it?
it was. I actually did a drawing. Well, I think it was the next day while it was still fresh in my head. No, it might have even been when I got home, I think. And I've got a drawing here somewhere of, of what it looked like. And the best I can describe it, its facial features is like a caveman.
Yeah, that's what mine
that's
look
the
like
only-
too, cavemen. I haven't seen the other ones yet. You know, the one that looks like Down syndrome or the ones that look like, you know, apes. I haven't seen those yet. You know, of course, not everyone that we've seen so far we've seen close enough to where we can actually see its facial features. But that right there is unnerving because you think you actually for a second there think you're looking at a human being, but you know it's some kind of animal, some kind of being, and it's just you know, like I say to everybody, it's just kind of mind-boggling. I don't know what other word to use for it because there's just no way, you know, to compare it to anything.
Yeah, well, once I got back up on the flat, and so I was standing there scratching my head, and half of me wanted to go and follow it, but it was just too difficult climbing up to where it was, and so I decided I'd get the heck out of there. And
how big do you think it was?
it wasn't until I got back onto the fire trail that I felt physically frightened. You know, like my heart was going, and all my hair was standing up on end.
Yeah, that after effect. How big do you think it was, Matt?
I'd say it was about 5 to 5.5 foot tall.
5.5 foot tall?
Yeah.
And red like an orangutan?
Yeah. Reddish orange.
So, pretty young then. Well, do you have any idea from the other people that research there whether that's a normal size for them? Do they get much bigger there? I mean, is there a size difference between there and here?
Yeah. Well, there's 3 different sorts here too. You know, maybe more. I don't know. From the tiny little Junjadu, who's only 3 foot tall, and then right up to the Dooligal, he's supposed to be 14 foot tall.
Well, for those of people that
So,
don't know, can you explain to what those are?
Well, they're basically just Aboriginal words. It's the same here. Like, you know, all your Indigenous peoples had their sort of own names for the, you know,
Okay.
for Bigfoot.
Okay,
It
yeah.
was the same here for Aboriginal people.
Okay. Makes
So,
sense.
depending on what part of the country you're from, people use different, you know, different terms to, you know,
Yeah, like
or
the
different names. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
like the Native Americans here all have different names for the same thing. For close to the same thing. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I know there's different
And
kinds.
yeah. And so the generic name here is Yowie. So,
Okay.
like it's Bigfoot or Sasquatch. There, it's, you know, just Yowie. Look, I have no idea if this thing. It didn't look like it was a young being. It didn't look like a juvenile to me. But I have no idea.
Well, that's why I was asking if they're smaller there, because that could have been a full-fledged adult over there compared to, I mean, even down here or in Florida. Florida, they're 6, 7, 8 foot tall, you know, closer inland and up here a little bit. They, you know, I mean, the biggest one I've seen that was 10, but other
Yeah.
people, Robert Dotson said, had that video of the 12-footer. And then you get up north, you know,
Yeah.
further north, and you've got, you know, 14-footers. And, you know, so I was just thinking maybe there that they don't get that big, you know, and you probably saw a full-fledged adult.
Possibly do. Quite possibly. I'm sure that the environment plays a part in how creatures adapt to the environment, size wise, etc. You know, it wasn't long after that. I did a video called, I think it's just called "Walk in the Aussie Bush" or something like that.
Yeah.
And you actually timestamp some movement on it.
Yeah.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And normally when I look at things like that on videos, I just think to me it's parallax, like as you're moving the camera, you know, like things moving in the background.
Yeah, same here.
I don't take much credence to those sort of, you know,
Yeah.
anomalies
Anomalies.
in video.
Yeah.
But the strange thing was after I finished that little section of video and I'd walked a bit further, I again caught movement out the corner of my eye. I looked and I saw what I can only describe as a blur.
Yeah.
And it was moving really, really quickly. It actually looked like two. But I don't know if that was the effect of something moving so quickly and I could see, I was seeing it in two, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or it was actually two different things. But I can say that what I was looking at moved, I'd say 300 yards, didn't make a sound. By the time my brain had even registered what I was actually seeing with my eyes, this thing had ran 300 yards the only thing that made me think that this was actually something physical was the fact that when it ran across the creek, I could hear it did it. I suppose the creek there's about 30, 35 foot across, only shallow, probably about 2 foot deep, and just sand on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing did it in one jump. So it was bloop, as it hit the water and then gone.
Oh my.
So if I hadn't have heard it actually hit the water, I would have just thought it was my eyes playing tricks on me, what I was saying.
Yeah. That's why people have a hard time, Matt. That's why people have a hard time with video, is because what we see with the naked eye, you can't capture on camera. And if you think you have captured on camera, then people are going to say it was just, like you said, the anomalies, parallax, pareidolia, whatever you want to call them. Your mind, will click when you see movement. Someone can stand in the woods and not move a muscle, and you might walk past them, but the minute they move, your eyes automatically avert to that area, and because you spotted movement, and that's what catches our eyes and our brains. So, but I saw that, when you were just walking, I saw the movement, and that's why I pointed out, because I don't point out that stuff very often in anybody's videos. I usually don't say, I saw something here, I saw something there. But that one, it was clear to me, and I followed it 2 or 3 times to make sure it wasn't a leaf hanging, or part of the branch just because you moved, just because you moved a little bit, a tree could look like it moved, but actually it's just your movement with the camera.
Yeah.
But you were still for that, and I saw it move, so that's why I knew that it couldn't have been you. And then when I went back a little bit, it wasn't a leaf, so.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah. Anyway, I suppose the last video I did, the very last video I did, anyway, that was just a completely stupid idea, and I nearly killed myself.
What?
Getting to where I was trying to go to, and it was completely unsuccessful. It would have taken me 3 days at the rate I was going to get to the river. But anyway,
you just can't help yourself, can you?
Anyway, when I got right down to the bottom of the waterfall, and I was walking back up towards the small waterfall, and I didn't say anything at the time. I don't know, but it was quite an uneasy feeling walking up there, and I was sort of a bit, quite glad to get out of there, because like you said, Amanda, the scrub was so thick that something could have been standing 10 foot from me, and I wouldn't have seen it. But anyway, was the following Monday night. Hang on, let me just go back a bit.
Okay.
After my first sighting, I was in 100% in the flesh and blood camp.
Right.
The second thing I saw made me sort of rethink a few things, but given the speed they seem to be able to travel, I could still think to myself, there was something, it was a physical being doing that, even though it was blurry or whatever. Like, it's still possible that this thing could have, be physical. Lately, after I did that last video, on the Monday night, I'm fast asleep. It was about, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife's an insomniac and stays up all night. And she came in about 2 o'clock in the morning and shook me. And she knows never to come near me when I'm sleeping. Wake me. I'm like, what? I'm like, what's the matter? And she said, there's someone outside the window. I'm like, what? She said, what? You know, like, what window? And she said, there's someone outside the kitchen window. I can hear it breathing. There's no one out in the backyard looking in the kitchen window because my dogs would eat you. And they'd be barking or, you know, I would hear a commotion.
Something.
I got up and keep her happy and went outside and had a look around with the torch and I couldn't see anything. And, she was, you know, pretty upset. And she described the breathing as like a really deep, raspy breathing.
Yep.
Anyway, whatever, I went back to bed. The next night, I hear someone, what sounds like rummaging through my rubbish bins. So I get up again, and this is about 3 o'clock in the morning, I suppose. And I grab the torch and I go outside, and there's nothing there. Went back inside, went back to bed, got up at 4:30, took off to work, left for work about 5:30, so it was still dark. And I actually grabbed the rubbish bag from the kitchen and was going to chuck it in my bin on the way out the front, like the big bin out the front. And I opened the bin lid we have like a recycle bin.
Yeah.
And a green waste bin and just a normal rubbish bin or garbage, trash, whatever you want to call it. And when I opened the trash bin, all the recycling was in the trash.
What?
And I'm thinking, Then I opened the recycling and all the trash is in the recycling. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's weird. I didn't have time to deal with it. So I was, you know, on my way to work, so I just left it. That afternoon, I kitted everything out on the lawn and put it back in the right bin. Still, it didn't. I'm still not thinking anything Yowie related or anything like that.
Of course not.
Oh, that's right too. Also, there's a feather stuck in my front screen door and probably 3 or 4 feathers on the ground outside, like around where the bins are.
And let me ask you a question, Matt. Has any of this stuff happened before you went out there and had your face to face? Had you ever had anything like that happen prior to that?
No, never. And I don't even think it was that particular time, the first time I saw them. I don't even know if it was connected to that. I'm positive it's connected to that last video I did, because it was days after that, or the next day, or 2 days after that, this stuff started happening.
Do you remember, Matt, a long time ago when we were watching Rick's videos and we were laughing about the possibility of them following us home? We thought that was funny. Do you remember that? Yeah. Now look what happens. How far away is where you go out walking to compare to your house?
Depends. Like I walk all over. It's never really in the same sort of spot. But the closest spot to me that I can go from is at the end of my street. So probably a 10-minute walk from home, and then there's a fire trail that leads off the end of my street, and then probably another 10, 15 minutes walking you sort of more or less in the middle of nowhere. Plus we do have a bush reserve opposite where I live, but it's sort of hemmed in on all sides by houses and roads. So, yeah.
So it sounds to me like you have plenty of area where they can come out of with no problem to come check you out, because it's not like you live 45 miles away from, where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's only, like I said, 15 minutes walking and you're in the bush.
What did you think when you found the feathers?
I still didn't even really twig. I thought the cat had killed the bird.
Yeah, but you've heard that on other people's videos about them leaving feathers. Did you not connect that at all?
Maybe I did, but maybe I really didn't want to. To tell you the truth, I never really thought much about people doing videos of Bigfoot visiting them in suburbia.
Right.
But, yeah. I may have changed my mind there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I think we all do. We really don't want to, I mean, yeah, it's all fun and games until it becomes reality, but I think that's one of the things that a lot of us have a hard time dealing with, that we came into this thinking one way, and now through our own experience or somebody else's that we trust, things are starting to change a little bit, and it is something we don't want to think about. I don't really want to go stupid portal.
Stand
All right.
on one leg. Come on.
I'm not, no, they can stand on one leg. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. Oops, stay up there. Oh, here we go again. All right, just gonna leave you like that. All right, we're back. Okay, sorry. I saw it start rolling. I was like, no way. Thank you, Rick. What'd you put in there? Is that Matt's channel? Hi, everybody that just came in. Sorry. Yeah, and don't forget to say prayers for Bob. He's going into surgery. Yeah, they are stupid.
Prayers, Bob.
Okay, so
Yeah.
all right, so now you have them standing at your window. How far away? How tall is it from the ground to your kitchen window?
5 foot.
Okay, so that would make sense. Okay, and what color were the feathers? Do you know what kind of bird it was?
They look like owl feathers to me.
Yep, that would make sense. Seems to me that a lot of people either get owl or hawk or eagle feathers. I mean, sometimes other, but it just seems to me that that's a major. It's got to be something. There's something about those type of birds that's why they deliver the feathers. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they got a wren or something else. They seem to get the majestic bird feathers, and I think that's a gift. I think it's a gift. That's just my opinion, but I think it's a gift. So,
Okay.
all right. So what else?
A couple of days after that, it had been fairly quiet. And, I hadn't seen or heard anything for 2 or 3 days. And, must have been on the Friday, and I went to put the bins out for the pickup, and I see on my wife's car, which is just parked in the driveway, is two sticks on the side of the hood of the car, and
Wow.
yeah, there's no trees even above the car. Oh, look, there is, but they're completely different sort of tree. And this was a eucalypt branch. It was actually snapped in half because I could fit the two sticks together to make one about as thick as maybe a little bit thinner than a broom handle.
Oh, wow.
About 1.5 feet long, each one, I suppose. Yeah. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, I'm a bit slow, but I got the message now. Yeah.
Are you there, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. That was sort of pretty like a more obvious thing to me, like that I sort of couldn't just think to myself, oh, it's nothing. No.
So you're basically getting the same thing that most people, when they start doing this, are getting, where if they're going to get some kind of interaction, it's feathers, it's tree structures, it's gifting that way. So what do you think now, Matt?
I don't know. I've got some Aboriginal friends who are actually elders. We just call them uncle here. I got in contact with them, was asking them a few questions, and they actually came out and did a smoking ceremony on the house. And I haven't had anything since then.
And what do you think about that? Does that change your
I
mind
don't know.
about what they are, or where they come from?
It does a little bit. There's got to be something that's all actually spiritual to it too, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they're. Sorry?
Isn't this completely different than what we first thought when we first met each other?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Isn't it weird how things change? I mean, I listened to some of the older videos. It's just changed so much. I mean, there's so much more to this than we thought, you know. So are you expecting any more activity at your property, or are you going to go back out doing what you were doing, or have you done with this, or what are your plans?
No, I've actually stuffed my foot up, so I haven't been able to do anything. I've just been resting it. I'm on it. I'm supposed to be off it completely, and I'm on it all day at work. So weekends I've been more or less just resting my foot.
Well, yeah, that's now that your foot's hurt. But once it's done being hurt, what are your plans? You plan on going back out there?
Yeah. Why not?
So you get the Aboriginal uncles to come out and get rid of them, and then you go back out in the woods to get contact again. Are you out of your mind?
Not really. Well, they can stay as long as they stay in the bush, I'm happy.
You just can't help yourself. I'm telling you, it's overwhelming how this just takes over. You'll never go in the woods again without knowing they're there.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, my love of being outdoors outweighs, I don't know, any fears that might be there. I'm just probably a little bit more careful is not the right word because I'm not careful.
You're a bull in a china cabinet, Matt.
Yeah, just be a little bit more aware, maybe.
Yeah. And what if they try contacting you again? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I did leave them. Like I went back to that original spot a couple of times where I saw that one, and I didn't really see or hear anything else there. But I did leave them a few little gifts.
You just can't help
The
yourself,
first
can
time
you?
I went back,
You just can't help yourself.
and they took the things I left and actually left me a feather, which I still have somewhere here. I'll have to take a photo of it. It's obviously it's like a falcon wing feather. Beautiful, like candy colour with black bars on it, and then white at the quill end.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like I left it inside a hollow tree, and they left me that in the hollow tree.
Wow. What do your Aboriginal friends think that they are? Or what do they say that they are?
To tell you the truth, they don't like talking about it.
Huh.
I get shut down pretty quick when I bring it up.
Do they think it's evil or something? Like an evil omen or something?
I don't think. Yeah, like I don't really know. But without going into Aboriginal history, I don't feel right talking about that. As a non-Aboriginal person.
Okay.
But they also left me at another spot I go to, which I did that New Year's video from. I go there quite often and just sit there. There's a stump, and people don't go there. Like it's just it's too difficult to get to. And the last time when I went back that time and did the New Year's video, which was actually the last time I've been there, on the stump I sat at is a piece of smoking quartz. I think it's smoking quartz, just a small chunk, sitting exactly where I sit. So, I don't know, me thinks they're watching me there too.
I think so. So.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I just had to redo my computer because it's filtering, it's buffering up here, but not down there, so I was confused. Okay, so now that's working all right. I just want to make sure I'm not buffering again. My computer was going whack. But as long as I have you on this computer, because you're on my laptop, so I've got you on the laptop. As long as that doesn't buffer, we're fine. But it started buffering over there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose all of you. Quiet, egg. Anyway, I just can't believe how much things have changed since the beginning of all of this. It's one thing when it happens to somebody else, because I remember you having a lot of questions before you decided to go out walking around. I'm sure you went walking in the woods plenty of times before you got onto the live chats, right?
Oh yeah, I mean I've always hiked my whole life.
Okay, so if you've hiked your whole life, did you ever have any kind of encounters?
Well, what takes me back to originally, probably, I don't know, maybe, like I don't even know how long ago it was now, maybe 3 years ago. And I was hiking, I'd gone off trail. I was actually doing some photography.
Yeah.
And I heard, which is a very distinct sound, is a black cockatoo calling. Well, it sounded like a bunch of them. And so I'd gone off trail trying to find where they were at to get some photos. I got to a big. Again, it was just ridiculously hard going. Some spots I had to crawl, but I eventually got to a big flat piece of slab of sandstone. So I sat down and got my water bottle out and said I'll have something to eat while I'm sitting here, and probably just sort of reassessing whether it was worth
Yeah.
keep going forward or turn around and go back. Anyway, the next second a rock flew out of the bush and smashed on like a piece of sandstone, hit the sandstone shelf I'm sitting on and exploded.
Wow.
And I'm like, hello, like, thinking it was a person
Yeah.
throwing rocks at me. And I think I yelled out, quit it or stop it or something like that. Another rock comes, probably 4 or 5 more rocks. And I'm still sort of calling out, stop it, like, and then I turned around and went exactly back the way I came. And I actually went home after that. I got home and got on the computer and I'm like, I think I typed in what throws rocks at you in the Aussie bush or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And all these rock throwing videos came up on, I think I was on YouTube or something, and I see all these Bigfoot Sasquatch videos. So clicking on a few of those, watching them, and that was probably the first time I'd ever even watched anything to do with it.
Yeah. I understand that.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So you didn't grow up hearing about them?
I did. I had another experience when I was probably about 12 or 13. And even back then I was even a more absolutely keen hiker when I was a kid.
Really?
And by the time I was in year 7 in high school, I was actually leading hikes to some pretty remote places. Actually leading adults even.
Wow.
Yeah, and we'd done a 3-day hike up in the Blue Mountains, and on the second night we'd camped by a river, and we got screamed at.
Ooh.
Something was in the dark at night, and we were screamed at for a good 15 minutes, I reckon. Like on and off.
Do you have any animals there that would imitate that scream, or that would make that you would think that that's what
Nothing.
It was? Nothing.
Nothing.
What'd it sound like?
I'd ever heard. Just I can't even do it.
Oh my gosh.
Like a guttural scream. And back then, flashlights being as great as they were back in as we're talking about, late 70s, early 80s, had the power of like a single candle. So we had these really crappy flashlights shining them across the river because we couldn't see anything. And I remember saying to the people, I think there was a group, it was about 6 or 7 of us in the group, and I remember us just sitting around the campfire, like having a joke, saying, "Oh, it's just a yowie, don't worry about it." Right.
Little did you know. So I think that they've been watching you for a long time.
Perhaps, yeah.
Well, it would make more sense that they,
Um,
you know, you. It seems to me like you've had a lot more encounters than we've heard. You know, there's a lot of stuff going
it's
on with you since you were young.
maybe, but even then, like I didn't even think anything more of it after that being screamed at that first time. Like it wasn't something that I was thinking about, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
Like I do pop up in some pretty crazy places. I wouldn't surprise me if they have been watching me. They're probably thinking to themselves, "Ah, oh, not this idiot again."
as
What
long
is
as you
he
don't,
doing?
as long as you don't fall, they're probably, you know, might be most people say that we are their entertainment. I bet you they find that really funny when you fall. I'm surprised you haven't heard. I'm
Yeah,
surprised you haven't heard them laughing yet. You know.
dear. The yeah, there's so many places around here that just nobody goes to. I, I could I could spend the rest of my life just exploring the valley behind me, going to places that nobody goes to for the rest of my life. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it.
able life.
Well, I can't. You know, I can't say anything about the differences between yours and other people's experience, except for the personal part of it. You know, how do you feel now that you know what you've seen and now they've come to your house? How do you feel? Are you nervous about it? You know, are you scared? Are you wanting to back off? I mean, how do you feel?
I wouldn't say I'm scared. I'm a bit. I don't know. I don't go outside at night time without a flashlight anymore. I never used to do that.
Yeah.
Um, not that it, not that a flashlight's going to save me, but I don't know. I don't get a bad feeling from it.
Yeah. But it's just got to be weird, doesn't it? It's got to be.
Oh, it's very weird. It's my wife is really freaking out.
I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is, especially
Yeah,
after hearing of anybody in their right mind. I don't care if you even know of Sasquatch or believe in them. You hear any kind of breathing outside your window, you're gonna freak out. You know. So with or without the Sasquatch or the
yeah.
Yowie part of it, I'm sure she is. But did you go out? You didn't see any prints when you went out on around the window?
Nah, it's just grass. So I couldn't see anything. And it had only been made the day before. Maybe if it was a bit longer,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I couldn't see anything.
Wow. That's just kind of freaky. I don't think
Yeah,
your wife has got to be. Did you? What was she like in the beginning? You know, did she talk about with you? Did she believe in Yowies? I mean, was there
nah,
no?
she, she thought I was nuts.
Now what does she think?
Slightly less nuts.
Now she think you're both nuts, her included.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what happened with my husband, so I get that completely. You kind of think you're losing your mind if you're gonna actually believe in something like that. But
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, really, when you think about it.
it is.
Um,
What do you think
I
the
don't know.
biggest differences between the Yowies and the Sasquatches here? Or is there a big difference?
Look, to be honest, I don't think there is a big difference. Like maybe physically and size-wise, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know.
So if
You
we
know,
all,
from the descriptions that I've
go ahead.
like, I've read and listened to, like it sounds like the same thing to me.
So I guess this would put it in a category of it could possibly be spiritual. If it's spiritual and physical, then it could be anywhere, and it's a breed of a breed of a breed, of some sort of hominid or whatever the case it be. But whatever country you're in, they're basically all the same thing, right?
Yeah, well, that's sort of the conclusion that I've come to lately. But I've gone totally off the ape thing. Like,
Oh yeah, me too.
It wasn't an ape.
Yeah.
It was not an ape. I can say that 100%. Like, it was an intelligent being looking at me.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dumb monkey.
Yeah, I never did. I remember Wes Germer in the beginning used to call him a dumb, dirty ape. Remember? And then he changed his attitude.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't call them apes anymore. And I mean, even people that have seen them that say they look like a monkey still don't call them apes.
Yeah. I mean, the term bush ape gets thrown around here a bit, I've heard. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not an ape.
No, it's not an ape. So what do you think about them spiritually?
I don't know, just by going, I don't know, we've only got sort of Aboriginal spirituality, like, to reflect upon, I guess, here. And, they are quite a large part of their Dreamtime stories and belief, built into their belief system. So, I don't know, I'm sort of thinking of that, like, along the same lines as them.
Do you think that they're Nephilim?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing right now. I think that the controversy is not so much hominid or flesh and blood, or I think a lot of people are jumping onto the bandwagon of the Nephilim because of what they're picking up out of the Bible and what people are trying to say. And now that some people that didn't believe in cloaking have actually seen the anomalies in the woods faced, right there in front of their faces where it looks like the predator type stuff, or like Bob's video with the floating gold head, or Barb's, boots on the ground, hers with the, all that kind of stuff just makes you really wonder what the heck is going on, So there's nothing wrong with us changing our belief system, but I'm hoping that we're going in the right direction and we're not, being led astray.
Yeah.
And it's real hard to keep what I said before I don't like is when someone jumps on one channel and says, yeah, I believe in the woo, and then jumps on another channel and says, no, I don't believe in the woo, and then jumps on another channel and says, yeah, I think they're Nephilim, and then the next channel they say they're flesh and blood. That controversy right there, that wishy-washiness is what's making it so hard, because I just want to hear people's face-to-face. I want to hear their encounters. I want to know what they think, because we all have nothing but question marks about this. The stuff that we're learning is just coming up all over the place, and people that you never expected to hear it from. I'm waiting for the day that Rick turns around and says he saw something that looks like Predator outside his door. He's going to lose his marbles. We were all on the same bandwagon in the beginning. This is stupid, and this is stupid, and this is the way they are. We knew what we knew in our areas, but now things are changing, and so stuff's popping up that makes me think, there's just so much popping up, and I just don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, it's extremely confusing, and I don't know. I made a new I made a New Year's resolution, which I never ever do because I think it's a waste of time. But this one, I'm determined to see it through, and that is keeping an open mind, basically, to the subject, and not confining my thoughts to just one box.
Yeah.
Um, I I know people share stuff, and I thinking to myself, oh, what a load of bull dust, you know. Like I I've made a distinct change in my brain to think not to think that way and to keep an open mind. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's all I guess any of us can do.
Exactly. So I remember in the beginning when you started doing videos when people would write underneath there they saw things and you didn't see them. You were, you have the analytical mind saying, "Hey, I was there. I didn't see this. I didn't hear this." And then you have people that get on the chat and I mean on the your channel and you've got